surprised. The Silvia of Vigorets was running in a funny way. I thought that it might have any problems in the rear part. But then Fyodor caught up with the leader and began trying to control it all in compliance with the new regulation.
For anyone who thinks they saw him straighten out, take a look at this graph. You will notice his angle isn't 0, which wasn't the case for Abramov. That's a solid 10 degrees, just like Kliemko posted. And in the same exact spot once again. But most importantly, both drivers were fantastic in the chase, especially Chivchian. Thanks for giving the fans something to enjoy. And this is where things got weird. After initiating, Artyom fell so far behind his opponent that this almost became an inactive chase. He did catch up eventually, and things were looking good right up until the very end when his opponent gapped him once again. In the meantime, Borodin's performance in the lead, well, even if it wasn't excellent, it was still very good.
From Fresh Racing. Now Evgeny Losov is demonstrating that he can be both precise and aggressive at the same time. Very spectacular through touch and go number 3, and then he carefully slows down. Quite a heavy vehicle, but Nikolai Garkovenko knows how to operate it well, and this is, even though the line is pretty broad, he gets the inner touch and go, the second transition, and finally the OZ1 is appearing underneath the rear wheels of this vehicle. Nikolai Garkovenko is drawing a very beautiful and flowy line, and he reaches every... This is the run-in, initiation. You can see Silvia's 15 rocking from side to side. Roman Tivadar worked through the first OZ, and then you see this 3-stripe element, and microscopic, tiny corrections. Very carefully he goes through the touch and go too, and then he slides on the edge at the limit of the possible through the second clipping zone on board a new car. I always loved watching Charles driving his flankers since the very first rounds of flankers that he made. They're so good together. This driver of Starter Stars, I'm on this car. Yes, he takes the first OZ. He smooths out the transition. He reaches touch and go 3, then he goes inside. So pretty, my God. Maybe a little bit broad in touch and go.
Nicholas Bertan's initiation is all right. The outside line on the first corner. Transitions on to outside zone 2. He gets there as well. And next transition, he's on the outside line almost from the beginning. Has to go a little bit wider there. Maybe not 100% spot on. Touch and go is good. Touch and go 2 is also good. And he's over the line on his post 2. Shanahan, and he won't give up. Oh, really close, but he goes off. Nikita Shikov is off, unfortunately, in the first corner. Tried to go as fast as possible, tried to maintain close proximity to Jack Shanahan, but it all went wrong. But right now, oh, Shikov is trying to come back, but it seems that he's, overcooked it a lot. And Jack Shanahan has to drive till the end.
In the lead, Maxim walked away from Vladislav, though his line was narrow in certain spots. Vladislav was driving on straight wheels from the very start, and proceeded to fall so far behind Grossman that it's embarrassing. After switching places, both drivers got off to a pretty lackluster start. Popov was missing the clipping points, while Maxim was giving his opponent way too much space. But during the second half, both of them suddenly bounced back. Popov was maintaining his line, Grossman closed the gap. Popov. They accelerate, initiate, Dennis washes out, Ilya does his best to mitigate, and that's a wrap. Blame for the incident was placed upon Miguel, and Popov deserves credit for somehow anticipating Dennis's maneuver and avoiding a collision. In part 2 of the heat, Dennis was driving aggressively and sticking close, but he was a bit sloppy. Ilya in the lead position simply drove to...
Fall to this new rule that was introduced this season's regulations, and now the nearest position of the control points will be here. Here, Fodorov handles it, and here he also manages. Of course, he violates all the rules on the way.
And not very clear-cut. Dobrovolsky did so-so in the lead, earning just 15 out of 30 line points, while Sorokapud was pretty inconsistent in the chase, catching up and falling behind. They changed places. Dennis was only slightly better in the lead, earning 20 points, while Timofey fell behind slightly at first to then catch up, and in that treacherous final bend, Sorokapud's BMW slips and loses a lot of momentum. Meanwhile, the Silvia piloted by Timofey was barely able to brake, and tandem drifting from both parties up until the 4th sector. Losiev was good in the lead, Popov was following close end in step. In the final bend, Losiev did allow one wheel off, which didn't even slightly fluster Vlad. He continued to stick close, even tapping his opponent. Terrific. Now they swap.
And let's see how this will play out. Really close initiation there by James Dean. Arkasha doing a good job on the outside zone 1, outside zone 2. Misses out a little bit at the end, but Dean is there. Dean is really close. Big angle there from Tseregratsev at some point in turn 3. And Dean is getting there with the left foot braking all the way. So it seems that Dean is quite faster than Tseregratsev. Tseregratsev doing a good job also on the lead run, but how close!
In the chase position, the blue, black, and red Supra lunged at the white, red, and black Silvia. But after the first transition, the aggression and close proximity were nowhere to be seen. The distance between the cars was about the same as during the first part of that heat. Yevgeny lost his exhaust, Timofey got a decent run-in from start to finish, and overall he seemed to have done better than Losiev. Once more, the air of surprise became quite prominent, however, Dobrovolsky's two wheels leave. Either Leonid or his car is doing something strange. He's not quite wide enough, making a bunch of mistakes. Meanwhile, Ilya did a fantastic job in the chase position all the way from start to finish. He could have also been the superior leader, but after the first transition, he made a serious mistake that resulted in 3 wheels leaving the track.
From Krasnoyarsk, let's see. Good initiation there, really wide line by Arkady Tseregratsev, close to the wall with big angle, coming to outer zone 2, going through outer zone 2, and yeah, losing a little bit of outside zone. Oh, and his car is on fire! His car is on fire, literally. What is happening there, Arkasha? Oh my god, his rear is smoking, and he's going to the back.
He's got starting number 9. He decided to choose it. It was a big story about it. It was a funny story, in fact, but, well, it happened the way it happened. 9 is also good, it doesn't matter. And the first outside clip is not behind touch and go 2. Now he shifts inward, and he works through it carefully, and it does happen. The last transition, and yes.
Good ball find by Kristaps. Kristaps with a good initiation. Skorobogadov tries to overtake him. Kristaps with a good line, really close to the wall. That seems that he likes to do that. And Skorobogadov not so close. Going off track, Kristaps going off track. That's not good. That's not really good. And let's see how that will play out. And yeah, that was of course a mistake there by Kristaps. Skorobogadov.
As a chaser, Yevgeny Losiev storms to the Fredash area, and there Schneider makes a very careful initiation, not leaving his leader go. They get the touch and go 1. They decided to go wider, but let's the judges interpret that. Then Schneider is so brilliant in the deceleration zone right up to Losiev. They start increasing the speed, and this is the last transition. The last
were apparently trying to copy the 2 Denises who went before them. Round 1, Kuznetsov was far from perfect as the leader, so was Sak in the chase. Then during round 2, we saw contact and Kuznetsov going into opposite drift. Granted, Sak did transition while stabilizing himself with the handbrake, Tivadar and Grigory Gusiev. Tivadar in the lead was off to a decent start, while Gusiev was a bit too abrupt with his first transition. His car assumed too dramatic of an angle and lost some pace. While Griha was trying to catch up, Roman decided to adjust the rear end of his Silvia by tapping the wall next to touch and go 6, though this had no bearing on the leader or the chaser's driving, with the latter only closing the distance in that moment. But there was still enough space for that incident to be inconsequential. Near the end, Roman allowed one wheel off, with Grigory finally catching up with his opponent, so this didn't go smoothly for either of them.
Last he was in RDS Europe, but now he decided to go to the top league of Russian drifting. Now he's doing the initiation, pressing the accelerator. He perfectly collects the first two touch and goes, using the handbrake to expand the line and to collect the three touch and goes, all number 3. Then all the inner clips here are very valuable according to the judges.